In the general election, I said again and again, we're a party that's going to fight against the poisoning of the minds of our young people. Why did I say that? Well, very simple, because the march of the left through all of our educational institutions has been quite extraordinary. And I talked about the fact, we say, oh, aren't we terrible? We're the only country that ever took part in slavery, without telling anybody that actually it was the Royal Navy at huge cost that drove slavery off the high seas, and people need to be taught balance. We're teaching kids now the empire was truly evil. Well, a lot of countries around Europe have had empires, but none of them have a commonwealth. None of them actually have a relationship with their former colonies. And so much, when you think about this little island and the incredible history that we've had, the amazing things that we've done for the world, in the world, be it innovation, be it development, you could even argue the spread of Christianity, so many things that we've done genuinely to help people. And yet, our kids are being told everything about our past is poisonous. Well, those chickens are coming home to roost. The British Social Attitude Survey, in its 41st year, shows that in 2013, when people in Britain were asked, are you proud or very proud of Britain's history, 86% said yes. That has now fallen to 64%, and in the under 25s, it's down below 40%. 60% of our youngsters now have no respect or love for this country's history. And corresponding with that is a collapse, frankly, in belief in our form of government, our democratic systems. This is serious. And all of this happened during 10 years in which the Conservatives, the so-called patriotic party, were in power, which I think of itself is very significant. We are not going to change this. We're not going to change this by fiddling around at the edges. Talk about Britain needs reform. My goodness me, our education establishment, frankly, needs clearing out and starting again. This is appalling. And if you tell people the country's awful, that it stands for bad things, well, why should they respect the rule of law? Why should they have any respect for law and order? This is part of societal decline. It's part of social decline. It's something we should be deeply worried about. And I suspect now that Labour are in, the attacks on our past, on our culture, on who we are going to get even worse. So, folks, just think about it. Are you proud of what your forebears did? And yes, I know the Second World War generation are dying out, so I understand why there might be slightly less pride in our immediate past. You know, if your father, your mother was involved in the war, if your family lost people in either one of the wars, I do understand for a younger generation that is further away. But still, believe you me, the root of this problem is the poisoning of our kids' minds. And we in Reform are unafraid to stand up and say that and to point the finger, not just at this Labour government, but at a Tory party that has allowed